What it do, y'all? Chris here, aka Mr. Vibin himself, rocking his Superman t-shirt. That's what we're going to talk about. So let's talk about it. First things first, I think it's a cool movie. James Gunn did a really good job directing this movie. You can tell this is a James Gunn movie all the way around, from the different color schemes, camera angles, fight scenes. It's just a really good movie. If anybody knows anything about James Gunn, he was the director from Guardians of the Galaxy in the MCU world. Now he's over here with in DCU world. I think he did a really good job at this movie. The movie starts off pretty fast. Superman is in the snow. He just got whooped on, and he's calling for Crypto to come pretty much take him to the Fortress of Solitude, which is Superman's home base. He needs to get his energy back. He needs to get his powers back. Well, he never lost his powers. He's just weak at the moment. So Crypto the dog takes him to the Fortress of Solitude so he can get himself back right. Superman is fighting Ultraman. We don't know this is Ultraman at the time because it is in the beginning of the movie. The thing about Ultraman is Lex Luthor has cloned Superman to make Ultraman. So if anybody knows anything about Ultraman, he's an alternate um, person of Superman. In some universes, excuse me, he's an evil Superman. That's pretty much what he is. But in this aspect of the movie, he's a clone of Superman. I guess that's what he is overall, even in a different universe. He's just a clone of Superman. He's just an evil Superman. And Lex is out here doing what Lex do, being evil, trying to prove that Superman's a bad guy, trying to show him that, he's not the superhero you guys think he is. And there's a part where the mechanic, she finds out where the Fortress of Solitude is. Once they find out what that is, no, excuse me, not Superman. Lex is kind of like, okay, we got what we need. Let's go. So fast forward a little bit. Lex goes to the Fortress of Solitude and he gets inside. And it's crazy because only Superman can get inside the Fortress of Solitude because of his DNA. But with him having Ultraman, which is a clone of Superman, the Fortress of Solitude recognized Ultraman through the DNA. So they got inside. There's a part where Lex finds the message that his parents, meaning Superman's parents, sent to Superman when he left Krypton, and now he's on Earth. Bradley Cooper plays Jor-El. Jor-El is Superman's dad, so that was a cool little cameo. Did not expect that at all, of him playing Jor-El, Superman's dad. But there's a message. The message plays up to like a certain part of it, right? And then the back end of the message is messed up because the message was damaged in Superman's ship. So when Superman's ship got damaged, the back part of the message was never seen by Superman. So he never knows what that last part says. Superman just thinks the message says, "Go there, be their savior, be their protector, have a good life, and just do what you got to do." But the end of that message is pretty much saying, "Take over the world" in so many aspects. Saying, "Take over the world, create Krypton, rebuild our world, take as many wives as you can, just have a bunch of Kryptonian babies running around the Earth, take over the Earth." In this movie, we get Green Lantern. Finally, we get a Green Lantern. It's been so long. Not the one with Ryan Reynolds. That was trash. I'm not gonna lie. Not Superman. That Green Lantern was. Yeah, we're not even gonna talk about that. So we get Hawk Girl. We usually get Hawk Man, Hawk Guy, Hawk Boy, whatever Hawk you want to say which Hawk it is. But we get Hawk Girl and we get Mister Terrific, which I think is pretty cool because we've been waiting so long to get a Green Lantern that we finally get this Green Lantern, and he's an ass, excuse me, but I'm gonna just put it like that. He's just a straight tool. But Green Lantern being Green Lantern, it worked out pretty well with Hawk Girl and Mister Terrific. So fast forward a little bit, Lex takes captive of Superman, put him in his little pocket universe. So it's like this machine, void machine. And he puts him into this cage with Metamorpho. So Metamorpho is a superhero. You would think he's a bad guy because of him helping Lex, but there's a catch to it. Lex has kidnapped. First of all, he kidnapped Crypto, because when they went to the Fortress of Solitude, Crypto's a G. Okay, I'm gonna tell you like this: Crypto made this movie. Without Crypto, I don't think this movie would be what it is, because Crypto is just a straight thug. He's a G. He has behavior problems. I will tell you why in a minute. Not right now. Let me get back to this. So he takes crypto. He also takes Metamorpho's baby. So he's using the baby as leverage to do his evil deeds. He meaning Lex. So they're in this cage. There's no more kryptonite left on the planet Earth, just a little bit, but Metamorpho can manipulate elements to his being. So Lex has Metamorpho to manipulate kryptonite to weaken Superman. So as time goes on, they're left in a pocket. So this little pocket void, Lex has everybody in there from ex-girlfriends, people that done him wrong, government people, superheroes, super villains. He has everybody in this little void pocket that he keeps there. And nobody knows about it but him and the ones that he controls. So Superman and Metamorpho is in the cage. And Metamorpho is like, okay, how you gonna break this up, bro? You Superman. Superman's like, I can't do it. I don't have no sun. The sun energizes me. So Metamorpho makes the sun like it's not necessarily the sun. It's like um, it's a fake sun, pretty much enough to give Superman his powers back. They break out. He go gets the baby. They get Krypton. They have this fight scene. Of course, there's a fight scene, and boom, Mr. Terrific and Lois is there trying to save them. They follow him out. Boom, they get him out. So the thing about this pocket is this an antimatter waterfall that's there. And if you fall into the antimatter waterfall, if you're not like superhuman, it will mess you up within seconds. There's a catch to that. I'm gonna go back to that in a minute. But they get out, they leave, they're safe and sound. Now they got trying to figure out why is Lex doing what he's doing. Of course, he's powerful. He wants power. He wants to be a god himself. Ever since Superman came on the scene, Lex has wanted to be super, pretty much. That's why he does what he does. So they get out. Superman goes to his parents' house. He's trying to figure things out. There's this war that's breaking out. Of course, that's caused by Lex because he wants power. That's all Lex wants. Sometimes it seems like he don't even care about the money. He just wants power. Power is his money. The money is just a cherry on top that comes with everything. So Superman sits there. The war's about to break out, and he's watching it like, wow. Okay, let's all right, let me do this. But let me backtrack a little bit. When they're in the Fortress of Solitude, when Lex finds that message, he sends that message out to the world and to show that Superman's a bad person. And I went back to this to give you guys a cameo. There's a part where Superman is sitting in his house watching a TV show, and who's on the TV show? Peacemaker. Last time we seen Peacemaker, if you haven't seen the TV show, Peacemaker was getting shot in the neck in Suicide Squad 2, and he killed Rick Flag Jr. I said Jr. because Rick Flag Sr. is in this. I was like, oh man, hold on, they doing something great. They doing something cool. So by seeing that, you can kind of see where they're going with this revamped DCU world. Because, like I said, there's Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, um, this new Superman, and you have Rick Flag Senior. Excuse me. I was like I was nerding out. So while Superman is watching his Peacemaker's on the TV, and in the background, who's in the background? Starro. If you guys seen Suicide Squad, Starro was the big star that was like shooting little stars out on people's faces and everything. If you ever seen Suicide Squad 2, go see it. You understand what I'm talking about. This Starro was different. This one was like rainbow color and more tentacles and really hard to beat. Heart Girl, Green Lantern, and Mr. Terrific is trying to fight it, but it seems like they're losing. It's pretty cool how they added that into the movie because, like I said, if you've seen um, Suicide Squad, you're like, oh snap, this is pretty cool. While Peacemaker is talking, so let's fast forward back up a little bit. Um, like I said, there was a war about to break out, and Superman is like, bro, what do I do? You see on the TV that they're there meeting these people in this different country that wanted Superman because Superman has stopped the war before. But now Superman is trying to get himself back in line after he feels defeated. He feels like, he let Lex win this one, but we all know Lex is not going to win. So he's watching the TV. His mamas are like, I got your boots ready when you ready to go out to be a superhero again. So come on, let's do it. But in the meantime of that, when they broke out of the Pocket universe, Mrs. Terrific is trying to make sure that the Pocket universe doesn't open up again. But the machine breaks, and of course, Lex finds that out. So the machine comes back together, but it splits Metropolis in half. Here's where I think this is pretty cool. Like, here's where I think this is cool. Drop my camera. Work with me here. Okay, there we go. I got excited, almost dropped my camera. Let's get back to it though. The cool thing about this is when the pocket opens up, it's like, okay, how can I put this? If anybody have seen Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, how the universe starts to split and all these different superheroes and everybody start to, I mean, superheroes, supervillains start to come through. When you're watching this and you see when Metropolis splits, it kind of makes you think like, okay, one, everybody that was in the pocket void that Lex had captive got released. So who got released? And did anybody come through this little pocket split that's coming upon us? So when it splits, it's like, okay, this is kind of cool. Of course, it gets back together after they defeat Lex and everything, but it starts to make you think like, wow, okay, is this like their way of trying to add something new to it? Trying to be like, okay, since everybody escaped, who was in that void pocket that Lex had? Like, what's how are they going to lead with this? I think it's pretty cool because it gives us a different kind. It finally gets us into this universe of we get outside of Superman, we get outside of Batman, we get outside of Wonder Woman and Flash and Aquaman and all that. Like, it started to bring more people in. I think the switch up with going from hot guy to hot girl was pretty cool. Mr. Terrific finally bringing him in because the last time we seen him was in the Arrow universe, the TV show. If you haven't seen that, go watch that. This Mr. Terrific is more of a serious one. He's like, I don't play no games, bro. Let's just get this stuff done so we can go get this over with. But in the Arrowverse universe, he was still a nerd and everything, but he was more kind of, I'm not gonna say ditzy, but he was different from this particular Mr. Terrific. I think Mr. Terrific should have his own TV show, own movie, his own origin story. Like, they couldn't do it without Mr. Terrific. Of course, they call themselves the Justice Gang. That's what the Green Lantern said. Hawkgirl's like, no, we're not calling ourselves that. But Mr. Terrific, without him, I think they would not have got a lot of this stuff done. So Superman is battling Ultraman back in the city while the city is going to haymaker. It's havoc right now because Lex is trying to prove that he's the top dog. We all know you're not the top dog, Lex. Let it go. Okay? You're no Tony Stark. Stop it. So as Superman and Ultraman are fighting, there's a war going on over country that Superman cannot get to. So he sends Green Lantern to go pretty much handle that. I'm just still amazed how much, oh man, how can I put this? I'm just so amazed how so much of the comic book stuff is in this movie. Like, it's great. Like, at the end of the fight scene with Superman and Ultraman, he pretty much whoops on Ultraman. So the cameras is flying around. The cameras are flying around because Lex Luthor is watching the fight. So he has studied Superman his whole life. So he knows Superman moves. So since Lex have created Ultraman, he can control him. Hit this way, hit that way, duck, block, boom, boom, boom. So his Superman counter moves is nothing because Lex knows his move. So Lex is telling Ultraman how to whoop on him. And it works until Crypto comes. Crypto is has this thing for balls. Like, he's just like when you have a dog, you tell the dog to go fetch. Okay, cool, boom. So while the cameras are flying around, Superman is telling Crypto to go pretty much destroy the boss, so that he can have it one up on Ultraman. The fight scenes go on. It was a really good fight scene between Superman and Ultraman. I enjoyed it myself. Like, it was a really good fight scene. So at the end of the fight scene, Superman drops Ultraman into the, remember the antimatter waterfall? Here's what got me. Let's get closer for this. Ultraman falls into the black hole. So when he falls into the black hole, we don't know where the black hole is. We just know that he falls into the black hole. So we know that Ultraman is not gone. Is he going to a different universe? 9 times out of 10, that's probably what it is. So when he falls into the black hole, Ultraman is gone. Okay. That sets us up for something else. So when he falls there, he's gone. Superman and Mr. Terrific go gets Lex Luthor. Of course, they arrest him and everything. And they show that Lex is being arrested. So when Lex is being arrested, one of the officers, one of the officers say, "Get his bald ass to Belle Reeves." Pause. Belle Reeves. Belle Reeves is where they have Task Force X. If you guys know about Task Force X, that's the place where they have the metahumans and everything. That's where they got the group for Suicide Squad. So he's not going to Arkham. Okay, he's not going to any other jail. He is going to Task Force X. I think it's cool because this sets up something else as well. Because, like I said, that's where they get the squad for Suicide Squad. So he's going to Belle Reeves, which I think is pretty cool. So at this point, it's the end of the movie. Everybody's happy or whatever it is. So Superman is back in the Fortress of Solitude, being healed up pretty much. And who comes in drunk? Supergirl, Kara. Kara is drunk. She's drunk because she likes to go party on planets with the red sun. And you guys know the red sun dampens their powers. So she comes, she drunks. This sets us up for the Superman movie, Superwoman movie, excuse me, Supergirl movie that's coming out in June of 2026. And I think this movie is a starter pack to the Supergirl movie, and this Supergirl movie would determine how the rest of this MCU world will go. There's a rated R Clayface show coming out. There is a new season of Peacemaker 2 coming out. There's a Green Lantern show presented by HBO that's coming out. So it's so many different things that are coming to the DCU world, which I think is pretty cool. But I think this Superman movie is the kickstart to everything that's going on. So just the way they set this up, I think it's pretty cool. Like Maxwell Lord is in this. You know, he works with the Justice League. He works with the Black Lantern Corps. He's a businessman, but he's a villain. That's kind of it's not a surprise that villains has worked with people before, but I think it's pretty cool how they set everything up and how they're gonna pretty much revamp this whole DCU universe. And if you've seen the Flashpoint pretty much resets the whole DCU world anyway. So with that, I think they're probably going to add something else to that as well. The actors in it did a really good job. They played their part right in this movie. Like this whole movie, it's pretty good, and I think that how they're setting this up might don't judge me, might surpass the MCU world. You know, the MCU world has been kind of on a downfall lately, but it seems like it's getting back up. Like I said, don't judge me. I'm just talking out of the side of my neck. But if they do this right, they might actually surpass MCU because they do have somebody from the MCU that's directing their movies now. And I think it's pretty cool. Like there's a cameo in it where Superman and Crypto is sitting on the moon looking at the earth, and that comes from the All-Star Superman number 6 comic book, if I'm correct. And it just shows them looking at the sun. I mean the moon. And I think it's pretty cool. So with them doing that and them setting up the way how they want to do this, I think it's pretty cool. So back to Crypto having behavior problems. I did say I was going to mention that. Crypto has behavior problems because Crypto is Kara's dog. And the whole time, Superman's trying to tell Crypto, like, hey, calm down, sit down. Kara flies in drunk, like, why did you move the door? She's drunk. Where is my dog? Crypto just attacks her, just straight attacks her, flinging her around. and just doing all that kind of stuff. She's there laughing like, we see why crypto has behavior problems now. So that says a lot. And also, there's this part in the movie where the hammer that Superman has, it's his hammer that he creates many stars to feed a galactic worm in so many ways. Like, he feeds it little stars. But this hammer right here, it's by Crypto's food bowl. So it kind of makes you think like, is Superman forging stars to feed Crypto to keep his power going? So I think that's pretty cool as well. But this whole DC world that they have building up right now, I think it's pretty cool. I'm excited to see where it goes. Like I said, there's so much stuff coming out. This new Supergirl movie is coming out next year, and I think it's going to be the start of something big because the last few DC movies that came out was kind of suspect. But this one that's coming out, I think is going to be pretty cool. So, with that being said, would you go see this movie? I think I'm going to watch it again. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Subscribe, like to it. If you guys want more, I do have more coming for you guys soon. Y'all stay up. Y'all have a good one. Chris, aka Mr. Vibin, I am out of here.